color blue is missing in the political landscape of Uttar Pradesh this time. Hello and welcome, I'm Pallavi Ghosh, and this time's One Take asks a question about where is Mayawati, why is she missing in action, and who does it really benefit? So much so that her political opponents have now begun to ask this question. At a rally recently, Amit Shah had asked, "Behan ji, kahan gaye aap? Bahar आइए, निकलिए, नहीं तो आप बाद में ये मत कहना कि मैं निकल नहीं पाई." At the national capital, at a press conference, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra in fact raised this question that why is Mayawati not stepping out? Is she actually the B team or the BJP? Is she helping? Before we dwell into who gets to benefit, who loses out, if Mayawati doesn't come out, we just need to understand the importance of Mayawati. I would say a male-dominated, almost feudal style of politics of Uttar Pradesh, Mayawati stood out for many reasons. First of all, the fact that she was a woman. She was Kanchi Ram's legacy. She was groomed by him, but she in fact went much beyond him and her style of politics. You talk about Mayawati, what is the picture which comes to your mind? Her bob cut, her shimmering salwar kameez, usually going in for pink or a peach, her grand birthday celebrations, and something which she was never ever apologetic about, and that handbag of hers. I still remember a statue which has been set up of Mayawati, say in Noida. That statue of hers actually holds that bag, it just shows it very clearly, which became a part of her persona. And that solitaire diamonds shimmering in her earring. In fact, she used that also very much politically, and that adds to the strength of power and which made Mayawati stand apart. Every time she was actually criticized for her grand birthday celebrations, the fact that her party workers were expected to donate for her party celebrations, she would actually use this in her rallies where she would say that, look, people don't want a Dalit ki beti to progress, to live well, for people to spend on her birthday, or if I want to wear a diamond earring, then people seem to be having an objection to it because I'm poor. In fact, she rose from the rags to riches kind of story, I would say, something which would fit the agenda of Mayawati. A true grassroots leader, the first one to reach the spot, but more than that, she would always keep her opponents and even her friends guessing. Remember that famous swearing-in ceremony in Bengaluru of Kumaraswamy, and how Sonia Gandhi forgot all the past bitterness with Mayawati, and she walks up to her and hugs her, and they're cheek by cheek, they actually smile and they click for the cameras. What a picture that was. That rattled off stories of a great grand alliance of the opposition parties against the BJP. But did that work out? No. Because after that, Mayawati stopped responding. I remember in the party headquarters, just after that picture came out, people would start talking ki ab to Uttar Pradesh hamara hai. That's what the Congress leaders would say, because we have the Dalit ki beti by our side, we have Sonia Gandhi, and the woman power would work. But I remember one senior leader from the Congress party, and from Uttar Pradesh, said, but she stopped taking her calls. Not just she, but even her close confidants like S.A. Mishra, they would not take the calls. When we finally confronted him in Parliament, he told us, "Arey, wo to sirf picture tha, sahi picture aage baki hai." And I think that's part of what is happening today. When I went to Lucknow recently, and many of our viewers must have travelled in Uttar Pradesh, you must have seen huge posters of the BJP, the pink color posters of the Congress party, Ladki Hu, Lad Sakti Hu narrative, and of course Akhilesh Yadav's Lal Topi, and the red color of the Samajwadi party. It's the blue color which is the symbol of the BSP, the Hathi, which seems to be missing in action. And just to use the pun intended figuratively, the size or the mammoth of its election symbol makes it more conspicuous by its absence. Very rarely would you actually get a sputtering of some poster of the BSP. In fact, of late, when there have been key issues in which one would have expected Mayawati would have stepped out and taken the lead, she actually hasn't. For example, in Lakhimpur Kheri, it was Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who clearly stole the march. She went there, she stayed there for more than 10 days, she made a lot of noise about it, and she put that pressure on the BJP. In fact, Akhilesh Yadav reached the spot a couple of days later. He was more concentrating on Lucknow, but nowhere did Mayawati be seen on the ground. She did hold a press conference eventually, but it was a very staccato, formal, a deadpan kind of press conference where she came in, she sat down, she took out a sheet of paper. In fact, mind you, that's usually the way she used to do a press conference. She used to read out, not take any questions, at the most take one or two friendly questions and would walk away. Her favorite line when she wanted to avoid any answers was, "आप लोग lunch खाइए, आपके लिए lunch रखा हुआ है. Go and have your lunch. I have provided lunch for you." That was a common line to journalists. Not wanting to give interviews, no off-record media interaction. Mayawati at that point of time for journalists was someone who was not available. Today for the politicians and her political opponents, Mayawati also does not seem to be available. Things have been changing. If you look at the vote bank statistics, the Dalit vote has been eroding. Now, you remember the last assembly elections of Uttar Pradesh where there was an alliance between the SP and the BSP. The calculation was that the SP would do well and win also and take advantage of this alliance with Behenji because the Dalit vote would actually transfer to the Samajwadi Party. That did not happen. I think that was the first indication that her grip over the Dalit vote bank was slowly easing. She was not able to transform and translate her traditional Dalit vote bank to her ally with the Samajwadi Party. And as they say in politics, na Maya Mili na Brahm, and this time literally speaking, she lost out on both the ways. She lost out because of an alliance with the Samajwadi Party, her somewhat of a hobnobbing with the Congress Party, and also the fact that she sometimes did seem soft on the BJP. She would very much attack the BJP eventually, but the lines were not the typical Mayawati style. They were little kind of staccato, they were very deadpan, which started giving rise to this whole perception that was she really is soft on the BJP. And then rose Chandrasekhar Azad, the Dalit ka beta, the one, who was very aggressive. In fact, he was very, very similar, and many would say a mirror image of what Mayawati was earlier. On the ground, very aggressive, very loud, having a kind of a whole bandwagon of Dalits behind him, and he would march up so much so that obviously to try and win over the Dalit vote bank and to woo him, Priyanka Gandhi Wadhwa goes to meet him at the hospital because she thought that would checkmate Mayawati. Mayawati, not known to react very strongly to her turf adversaries, was very, very critical in her reaction on Chandrasekhar Azad, and that was yet another glimpse and an indication that perhaps she was on shaky ground. Now, what happens when Mayawati does not step up? Who does it benefit? Well, in your face, it certainly seems to be benefiting the BJP because what it ensures is that the Dalit vote bank starts looking at other options. Would they look at the Samajwadi Party with a Yadav plus Muslim consolidation really as an option? The Congress Party, despite talking about the fact that, we care for the Dalits, and that's the reason why they tom-tommed a Dalit chief minister in Punjab, because they want to make the point that this is why we feel strongly about Dalits, and we are the only ones who are giving them a representation, and therefore you should vote for us. Remember the Dalit ki beti rag of Mayawati, that I am the one who has risen to power, and I am going to fight only for the Dalits and the downtrodden. That's the narrative which the Congress Party wants to capture. Unfortunately for the Congress Party, it did not sound convincing. BJP, if you notice, has been talking of late about actually real meaningful development of Dalits. For example, the triple talaq concept of the Prime Minister. He says everyone talks about women empowerment, doing well for the Muslim women, but actually they don't do anything for them. I'm offering them this whole, kind of a release from triple talaq because we want empowerment for the women. And when elections took place in Bihar and UP last time round, statistics showed that many of these women actually ended up voting for the BJP. That's the BJP's calculation, that we will capture the Dalit space. So the Dalit, a bit of the Brahmins, the traditional Hindutva vote bank, the BJP feels they'll be very, very comfortable. And also things have moved on. The traditional concept that Dalit will only vote for another Dalit leader, someone who promises that, okay, I'm going to represent only a Dalit, that's changed. Because what is happening now, that even a poor Dalit, as they're rising in power and they're holding important positions eventually, slowly but surely, they're also looking at alternatives. At the end of the day, they want jobs, they want a better future, better opportunities, and the BJP is able to afford them that regardless of the caste they belong to and on the basis of merit. Then why not look at the BJP as an option? Where does that leave Mayawati? Well, many of the critics, many of the political observers point out that she is now caught up in multiple cases. She doesn't have the wherewithal. Imagine around 100 BSP workers actually joined the Samajwadi Party in January last year. That was a big jolt to her. Many of her leaders have been leaving. Her alliance with Akali Dal, for example, in Punjab, is not got much resonance on the ground. And therefore, her critics are saying the only reason Mayawati is not stepping out is because she's scared of the cases. She doesn't want to attack the BJP. She only does some little bit of posturing, little bit of noise, but she doesn't want to kind of rustle up or, kind of mess around because she wants to be safe. But those who know her very closely, her team say, please wait for the real picture. In elections is often the last leg which matters, and that's when she's going to start stepping out. There's also a sense of confidence that her core vote bank will more or less remain intact. And if the BJP tomorrow, push comes to shove, can actually use those seats if they are won by Mayawati. Or why just the BJP? It could be any other political party, because no politician, certainly not someone like Mayawati, would like to be out of the picture for long or out of action. Many of those who are close to her say, please don't sound a death knell on her. She may be missing, but she's very much around. Do give in your reactions. Tell us, why do you think Mayawati is actually missing? Is it a deliberate strategy? Is it helping the BJP? Or she's waiting for her time? Or she's finally retired and give up? Thank you so much for watching.